Okay, we are at Portion-Vayatzay, and 144. It says, Vayatzay Yaakov went out from Beersheva via Haran, and he went to Haran. So the rabbis quickly say that we're told this, that he left, because we were already told before. We were told in the previous parsha that he left. So why do we have to hear it here again? So famous Rashi is a righteous person's departure from a place leaves a void. As long as he lives in the city, he constitutes its glory, its splendor, and its beauty. When he departs, its glory, splendor, and beauty depart with him. So the Sifti Chacham asks on that Rashi, he says, wait a second, we have Yitzchak is still there, so why is it that they're making a whole drasha of that the beauty leaves? Well, one tzaddik, if you have two tzaddikim, one tzaddik leaves, of course it damages the appearance. That's number one. Number two, Yitzchak is blind, so he's really not going out. He doesn't have the impact on society that he once had. So as a result of that, that's why you have that drasha. Vayivka b'makom, and he met the place. The pasuk continues. And what does it mean? He met the place. I'm trying to run a little bit here, so to get to the other parts. But it doesn't say that he came to the place. It says he met the place, because what happened was the rabbis explained that this was what do they call it? When you a wormhole, using Star Trekian terms. Right, he got there very quickly. It's Kafitza Saderech in Hebrew. Kafitza Saderech is when you start in one place and you quickly get to the other one faster than normal. So what happened was Vayivka b'makom, he met that place. So Rashi says, which place? The place that his father and his grandfather prayed. So he originally was going to pass that. He didn't realize, or he did realize, whatever the case was, and then when he thought to return, Hashem brings him back.
Where is Haran? Do we know we have a map or anything?
It's in Aram Naharayim, around there.
Where?
Aram Naharayim. He's going back to his father's homeland, Mesopotamia.
Oh.
So, but he doesn't want, when he's going, he passes a place where Avram and Yitzchak, that's why he says he met the place. He had in mind that he wants to go into Lavan and to ask for permission, as it were, to leave. So he's asking Hashem for permission to leave. So that's why it says, Vayivka b'makom, Vayel and Sham, and he rested there, Kiva Hashem, because the sun set suddenly. Well, it originally wasn't going to set at that point. What happens? Vayikach me'avnei hamakom, and he takes from the stones of the place. That as Rashi will tell you, I'm going again quickly through Rashi's. He put around his head to protect him from the animals. So that's why he's taking from the stones of the place. He's building a little shield around his head. V'yasem rashutav vayishkav b'makom hahu, and he's laid down in that place. And this is coming to say, why is it to say he laid down in that place? Because for the last 14 years he's been learning in yeshiva Shem ve'ever, and he hasn't been sleeping for the past 14 years. What he did was he would stand by, to use today's language, he would sit by the table, he would get a little cat nap, and then he would wake up again and start learning, and so on and so forth.
It's possible to do that. You can't nap on and off all day and just stay there.
Right. So, okay. Apparently that's what he was doing, because he didn't want to waste 1 second. And he had to prepare himself for the ultimate meeting with Lavan and ultimately Esav. So now he goes to sleep, finally gets a good night's sleep. And Vayachalom, he has a dream, the famous dream. The ladder was stationed, or on the, how does he say it? The ladder was set earthward, and okay, fine. And it's Rosh Magia Hashemama, its head, the head of the ladder, reached to the heavens. By the way, for those who are into what's it called? Fairy tales, this is Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh.
I wouldn't doubt that Jack and the Beanstalk is coming off of this biblical part. Because think about it, the beanstalk goes into the heavens, right?
Yeah,
so it would make sense. If you, I don't do the research on this. I'm just saying it out for those people out there in Malaysia who are listening to me. But it could be that that's where you get the fairy tale. Whoever wrote that fairy tale, where they got it from. That something reaches to the heavens. So it would be interesting. Again, everything comes from the Torah. All these stories that we have come from the Torah. May it be the sinking of Atlantis or anything else. That's also a midrash, that 1/3 of the world was put underwater, and that would be your. I see your hand. And what would and that could be the city of Atlantis underwater. Yeah. And we also saw angels that cohort with people. Again, that's all Greek mythology. Yeah.
Is that the flood?
Say it again, please.
The flood from Noah. Is that Atlantis?
No, I said that's Enosh. Noah's flood is the epic of Gilgamesh in Babylonian storyline. That's the epic of Gilgamesh. The Greeks also have their flood story. Everybody has a flood story. By the way, the fact that everybody has a flood story shows that there was a flood.
The Aboriginals have flood stories.
Sorry?
Aboriginals on Australia.
I'm saying the fact that everybody has a flood story merely shows that there was a flood. Now, which story is correct is ours. But I mean that's one only you can really argue. But every single culture that we know of has a flood story. So how they get that? And a lot of so it's a lot of things going on. But what I'm saying is the story of Atlantis would be when Enosh was wicked. So Rashi brings down that 1/3 of the world was submerged in that time because people were wicked and people didn't learn from that. So I'm just saying that the concepts and the fairy tales that we know, there's some validity to them. There's some truth to them. I'm not saying that Cinderella is real. I'm saying that they ate from and there's dwarfs and so on and so forth and running around with Snow White. But who knows? But I don't think there was, and I don't think there was a gingerbread house and the witch. But it's all based on something. Yeah. That's the point. If it wasn't based upon something, then people wouldn't buy it. We only buy something that we can associate with. So what was your other question?
It's just this thing, because when I was at Atlantis, because I would agree with you that it's based, all of our myths and fairy tales are based off of biblical stories or something.
Right.
So I thought Atlantis was the great flood, like a civilization.
No, like I said, that is because I didn't
hear about it enough.
Yeah, so Enosh was Enosh. That was where they got that from. Okay, again, where that concept comes from. I shouldn't say again. I'm not sure where they got anything from. I'm not going to be so arrogant. Yeah, you're looking at where they got it from.
No.
Okay, so now it says. So what he has a dream again. The ladder's going from the ground to the heaven. V'hine malachei Elokim, the angels of Hashem, Olim v'yordim bo, are going up and coming down. Wait a second. I'm going to give you the question. I'm going to give you the answer at the same time. It really should have said Yordim v'olim bo, who are coming down and going up. Yeah. Why? Because malachim, where are they coming from? Yeah. They're coming from heaven. The heavenly creatures. What does it mean they were going up and coming down? It should have been the other way. Yeah.
Wait a minute though. But doesn't everybody have a line? You have a line of malachim between each person and Hashem. So maybe his personal malach was with him. It was going up and down, up and down.
I hear what you want to say. So the answer that Rashi gives, unlike what you're giving, is that the malachim that were with him in Eretz Yisrael were now going up, and the new ones that lead him would come down. Fine sense or thing. Okay. The point is that there's a famous story that goes with this. There's a kid who always would anticipate Rashi's question, It's the story goes. You'd always anticipate Rosh's question. So here the Rebbe read this, and he was expecting the kid to come up with way we should say what we just said. It should be saying up and down, down and up. And so he looks to the kid and he says, "What happened? You didn't ask Rosh's question." He said, "What's to ask? It's a dream." It's a dream. In a dream, anything can happen. What do I care if it's going to happen? So that was an interesting concept. In a dream, you can say, "It's a dream. Leave me alone." But okay, he has a dream. So Vihine, now what? Now the next thing he sees is Vihine Hashem Nitzav Alav. Hashem is standing over him, as it were. And so Vayomar, and he says, Ani Hashem Lokei Avraham Avicha. I am Hashem, the Lord of Abraham, your father. It means your grandfather. Velokei Yitzchak, and the God of Yitzchak. Haaretz, the land Asher Tashochev Aleh, that you are lying upon. Lecha Dena Uzarecha. I'm going to give it to you and to your seed. Now, how much space do you think that is? How much land do you lie on your bed? How much space does a person get? Dalet Amod, 4 by 4. Amos is 8 by 8 feet, 6 by 6, so it's 8 by 8. So that's what you're promising me? Come on, give me a break. That's all you're promising me? A little piece of land? So Rashi says on that what happened was Hashem folded up, as it were, Eretz Yisrael, so he could sleep under it, and that's what he's acquiring. He's acquiring the whole land. Well, obviously, you remember you're in your dream formation here, but it's God's not folding up land, it's all symbolic. But it's that's what he's saying to you and to your fine. And he says, "Vayad zar'acha ka'afar ha'aretz," and your seed will be like the dust of the ground, and which means it will be uncountable. Yeah.
When you said it's symbolic, when God folds up the land and has Yaakov sleep on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't it also happen when they're moving the Ark across and the Philistines or whoever is going to ambush the Israelites, the mountains come down and they come back up. So God does.
That's not symbolic.
No, right, but God does fold land over and stuff.
Yeah, but we can't. We have to look at this and say more. We have to say more at this. That was miraculous. Right. Here it's in a dream state. Right. So why would Hashem be forced, as it were, to fold up land and put on them? So I'm saying I would think it is more symbolic. It's in a dream.
But there's also cases where
100%, but that's not a dream sequence. Right. Okay. 100% though. So what happens? Hashem will make your seed like your seed will be like the dust of the world. By the way, that's insulting at one point and favorable another. One is dust is numerous. You can't count it.
Yeah.
Number two, the negative is people are going to walk all over you.
it's worthless.
I didn't get that part out of it though.
Okay, so no, because sometimes with the stars of the heaven, people have to look up to us.
Oh.
Some comes with ka'afar ha'aretz.
Oh, so why didn't he say it?
So here's a bit of musar that the rabbis give. When we're doing what we should be doing, we're like the stars in heaven. Everybody still look up to us, and we're still numerous. We're still uncountable. It's an possibility to count stars because we can't see them all. And when it comes, but if we're not following Hashem, then we're ka'afar ha'aretz. So you have to look at that. And then it says, "Faratzta," and you will burst out. You will spread out. It means burst out. You will break out. Yama to the west, Kedma the east, Safon the north, Negba south. And all the nations, all the families of the world will be blessed through you and your offspring. Okay, so here's a brachot for the world that they should really appreciate, that everything that happens, like Hashem is saying, is through us. We're the conduit. We, the Jewish people, are the conduit of the brachot for everybody. So when the brachot are coming, it's coming through us to the world. The world will be blessed through us. Again, it puts a tremendous responsibility on us. It also puts a tremendous responsibility on the goyim, because if the goyim were smart, I'm not saying they're not, but if they really took this seriously, then they're going to encourage us to keep the Torah, because through us, their brachot come. Yeah.
Would it be negative on their part to force us, or no? At one point they can encourage, like, yeah, you guys can do this, but we're not going to get in your way. Another point is, you stay in your temple.
Would it be negative? It's an interesting question. Again, they're not going to. It's all theoretical, and we don't have a time warp here. But it would. The rabbis say that they say whatever you want to call it, that if the non-Jews understood the power and that we gave them by keeping mitzvot, they would force us to do it. But you can't force anybody to do anything, because when you force me to do, I'm going to mess it up on purpose. So it's not it's to nobody's favor to force the issue. I should try to convince you. If I want you to clean your parents want you to clean your room, okay, they encourage you. They don't force you. It's not worth it long term. They may get you for that 5 seconds, but long term, it's going to be counterproductive as compared to saying, convincing you or paying you, cajoling you to do what's right. And sooner or later, you'll do it for the right reason. So, I'm not looking for the rabbis to force me to do anything. I'm not looking for the goyim to, certainly not, for the goyim to force me to do something, because that would be just, hell on wheels. Who needs that? But, like I said, if people understood the power of the mitzvot and what happens, and this is for all Jews and non-Jews, then we would be less desires to break them. So that's all. That's the nicest way to say that.
But they can't do that without admitting that we're right.
Okay. Again, you have to. They would have to admit we're right. Yes, yeah. But at the same time, they could also. 1 second. They could also not. You don't have to admit anything. In other words, you have a fight with. One has a fight with their wife or spouse. One has a fight with the spouse. Right. What happens? You can either fall on the sword and say, I apologize, even when you're wrong, okay? Even when you're right, you can apologize, who cares? But you can fall on the sword, or you could just forget it. How many times have you been with people who said something to you that wasn't nice, and then, it wasn't within their ability to apologize. So what they do is they just act like it didn't happen. Now it's up to you if you want to hold a grudge. So you're going to hold a grudge. But otherwise, and what normally does happen, by the way, is everybody just goes on.
Yeah.
So what happens? So the non-Jews of the world never have to tell me, you're right. They don't have to say it to me. They just don't have to kill me. They can just they can encourage me to do what I'm doing. By the way, the church, what they come out with, the Jews are right, they have a special relationship with God. That's the ultimate saying we're wrong.
With the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, when they said that was the ultimate thing of saying, we messed up. We recognize you have a special relationship. So, well, we want to be, we still hold, we hold, fine. But you guys have a special relationship. Yeah, we're not going to play with you anymore. No, we don't want to kill. Whether or not they really want to kill us, I don't know. But they say one thing, and who knows? Yeah.
So, also, if the Gentiles force us to do mitzvahs, is there any punishment from God, or is it a negative, like a don't do this, to force someone to do a mitzvah?
I don't think there is. I don't think there's a negative not to. But again, it's not something that we encourage, because it's not smart. Right. I don't think that there's punishment. The only thing that would be a punishment is if you hurt me.
Right.
But if you get me to do something good, I mean, why is that a punishment? Okay. So I don't know. I don't think there would be a punishment.
Well, there are I guess what you call the fundamentalists
right.
that are very pro-Israel and
right.
pro-Jewish. So that's their way of encouraging us.
Okay. Again, encourage me to follow mitzvah, no problem. But don't force me, don't kill me, don't hit me. Leave me alone. Okay. Again, Hashem is continuing. Behold, I am with you. Ushmarticha, and I will guard you. B'chol asher and all that you go. V'ashivoticha, and I will return you. God saying, I will return you, Jacob, El ha'adama hazot, to this land, ki lo azavcha, ki I will not abandon you, ad asher imasiti, ed asher dibarti lech, until I've done all that I've said. In other words, I'm never going to forget. I'm never going to let you be alone. So what happens? Vayikatz Yaakov mishato. Suddenly Yaakov wakes up. He had a dream. Now he wakes up. Vayomer, and he says, Achen yesh Hashem b'makom hazeh. Behold, but Hashem is in this place. But I didn't know. If I would have known, I wouldn't have slept here. That's his point. If I would have known, I'm in a shul. I'm not allowed to sleep in a shul. If I would have, right? You're not allowed to sleep in a shul. That's a halacha. I'm not allowed to sleep in a Beit Knesset. Okay, I'm not allowed. So, by the way, that's a big problem for when people listen to rabbi speeches. They may fall asleep while they just broke the halacha. Okay, so for all, a shout out to all the people who like to sleep. Don't fall asleep.
Thank God this is not this room.
That's right. That's why it's 100% correct. But hopefully nobody sleeps when we're doing it anyway. But okay, but that's a big thing. We're not allowed to sleep. So now, if I'm want to snooze here, I shouldn't do it here. I should go out to even in this room. I shouldn't do it. I should rather go outside to the dining room or something else, or rent out one of the rooms for $36 a night. That's a shout out to all the people who want to rent at the Individual Torah Center. Okay, but that's what you do. So here he's saying, if I would have known that Hashem was in this place, I wouldn't have slept. Chas shalom. Okay, you were first, then you're second. Yeah.
Why is it he woke up suddenly?
I said suddenly?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he said before that he wanted to pray at the place where his father was almost sacrificed. Or where,
Right.
that will happen. That whole thing happened at Moria. So then he's brought to that place.
Right.
Miraculously. And then it becomes nighttime quicker. And then he goes to sleep.
Right. He doesn't think that the place is in other words, if you know that your father and your grandfather davened at a certain place, it has a level of kedusha, but it doesn't mean that that place is where Hashem is per se all the time, hanging out.
Okay, so this was.
In other words, when I would go to my house, my parents' home, so we had a room that my father would daven in every single day, and when I would come home, we would daven it. That's where we would daven. When he died, okay, so one of the Rabbi Sender from Sharon came, and I decided we'll daven in that room. It was too small for people, and when Rabbi Sender walked in, he was very hooked into the spiritual world. He is, I assume, still hooked into the spiritual world. He said, wow, the kedusha of this room is unbelievable. That's what he said. He said, this is a very holy room. Now, I didn't feel it. I don't know it. He's tied into it. I'm not.
But you told him that this is where your father had davened?
He asked me what's going on here. I told him.
He felt that first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I said, this is my father who davened. He said, whoa, this is... It's a very powerful room, he said.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was, it's interesting. Because we learned there, we did everything in that room. That was the Makom Kodesh for us. Wow. That was our Beit Knesset. Because my father wasn't going to walk 4 miles. He didn't want to drive to Shul at that point. He didn't want to walk and he wasn't going to walk 4 miles. So he davened there, and he would learn there, and that's the whole thing. Wow. But that's my point. If you're in a place where the Kedusha is there and Hashem is there, so he's saying, if I would have known, I wouldn't have slept there. Right. Not that I wouldn't have slept, I wouldn't have slept there. That's all.
So it was more than just the place where he didn't know that it was more than just the place where his father.
Correct. He didn't realize that was such a holy place. That's what he's saying. If I would have known, I wouldn't have done it. Yeah. Okay. That caused you a question too, or I answered your question. I forget.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Is this where the base of Mikdash is going to be?
Well, the answer is yes and no. Because really we're here, geographically we're in Beit El, so the answer is no to that. But it says when Vayivka b'makom, that's referring to a Har HaMoriah. So that's where the temple would be built. So it's an interesting wormhole effect we're dealing with here. Again, using science fiction terms.
I guess you could say he brought the Mount Moriah where the temple would be built to.
Yeah, that's what it seems to Bethel, and then moves away. And this, by the way, if you look to Rambam has Nachmanides. He has a whole problem with this. But I'm just following Rashi. To be quite honest, I'm just following Rashi when I'm saying what I'm saying. But if you go to the Ramban, he has a slight problem with how you're moving geography around. What's going on here? How exactly does that work? So again, I refer you to him, and he may say, I doubt he says it here, but I haven't really looked at what he's saying. Let's go on. Vayira, and he was afraid. Vayomar, and he said, "This is all Jacob. Manora hamakom hazeh, how awesome this place is. Ein zeki em bein Elokim. This is surely, this is only the house of Hashem. V'zeh shar shamayim, and this is the gate to heaven." Fine. Vayeshkem Yaakov baboker. Yaakov gets up in the morning. Vayikach et ha'even summer shetov, and he took the stone that he put there under his head. Wait a second. He took from the stones, right? It said originally he took from the stones of the place. And Rashi said, and he built himself a fortress around. Now it says he took the stone. What's going on here? Is it the stone or is it many stones? Yes.
How many stones did he take?
12, Rashi says. God, yes.
How can you make a fortress out of 12 stones?
Around his head to protect him from the animals. He didn't make a fortress. He made it around his head, protect him from the animals. So he took 12, representative of the 12 tribes that he's going to have. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that clearly. But I don't think he knew that anyway. But he took 12. And then what happened was they fought. The Midrash says that the stones fought amongst themselves. I want to be the one that Tzaddik puts his head on. I want. Okay. You have all the rocks fighting. Hashem unifies them, makes them into one big stone, and they become the Even Shetiyah, the foundation stone of the world.
Okay, so that's the wormhole. Again?
I don't know. That is some melting of stones. It's so hard to understand. 1 second. It really is hard to understand how Hashem is doing all this and why Hashem is doing this.
So where are we told that becomes the
Even Shetiyah?
Yeah.
From Rashi. So where did he get it from? I forget.
The Torah names the place.
Beit El.
Yeah, and I've been there and I've seen the stone that is reputed to be the stone that he slept on.
You were in. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You were in Beit El.
I got a picture of it. I couldn't.
There you go.
Remember.
Yeah. The question is.
But I'm looking in the English.
Yes.
About the semicolon, it said he took from the stones of the place which he arranged around his head and laid down in that place.
Yes.
He didn't have a stone under his head, or did he? He just
well, again, according to that, the answer is no.
Okay.
But what the Midrash is saying is they were fighting. I want to be the one under his head.
But when he woke up, he had been.
Well, whatever, right?
There was suddenly a stone under his head.
Yeah, I mean, well, that wouldn't be so difficult to understand. I mean, think about when we go to sleep, we go to sleep. We don't know everything that's happening. I mean, sometimes the pillow ends up on the ground, sometimes it doesn't, you know. Sometimes you're saddled, sometimes you don't. I never quite understood how in Westerns they can sleep on the saddle. I didn't get that myself. But okay, you know, you are who you do what you do. You could have been leaning up, it could have been anything. I'm not sure. Again, in the world of Midrashim, you really want to know what the Midrash is trying to get across. What he's trying to get across, what the Midrash is trying to get across in this situation is that the 12 sons are not disparate sons. That they're one unit. That Jews are one unit. That we're not just different families who hung around together or different tribal nomadic groups who got together. We're really family. And we have a unified mission. That's really what the Midrash is trying to get across. With all that we can argue, how to do it, I don't know. I'm not a master of Midrash. I don't know how Hashem does what he does, or if I should take it seriously or not, that there was 12 that made into one. What we have here is, first it says, the reason Midrash says it is because it first said, he took from the stones of the place, and now he takes the stone. Yeah. Well, what's going on here? Now, what happens is, by the way, the Bechor Shor, who was a Parish commentary who looks very much for Pshat, he said, well, what's the question? He took from the stones of the place, and that was the one he took, and that's when one we're dealing with now. That's simple Pshat, by the way. I have to say that is the best Pshat that I've ever seen. He took from the stones. That's all. Rashi doesn't want to go with that. Rashi wants to say he took from the stones and he built a wall, whatever, and then around his head, and now they become one. Again, the Midrash is the Midrash. Come on in. So, let's go on. So, what happens is, Vayitzok Shemin al Rosha. I don't have it here. I have it in my office. Sorry.
Okay. I'll wait till after tomorrow.
Okay. So, and he pours the water, the oil on the stone. Again, that's dedicated for futuristic times. He's going to build the temple, or he's going to build Mishkan, whatever is going to be built there. Vayikra Hashem makom ahum Beit El. He calls that place Beit El. Ve'ulam bat Luz Shem Haya Ha'ir Rishon. Luz was the original name of that place. What happens? Vayidar Yaakov neder lemor. So Yaakov makes a neder, saying, Hashem will be with me, and will guard me on this way. That I am walking, and will give me, listen what he's asking for. He's only asking for bread to eat, and clothes to wear. And will return me in peace, El Beit Avi, to the house of my father. So Hashem will be for me a God, which is not making that a... he says here in our scroll, this is one of the conditions made by Jacob, which, if carried out by God, would require him to fulfill the vow of the next verse. Yaakov was beseeching Hashem to rest his name upon him and his offspring, so that he would have no blemish in his posterity, as God promised to Avram. Gor Aryeh explains that Yaakov's statement cannot be understood as a promise of loyalty to Hashem, because such an interpretation would imply that if Hashem did not fulfill Yaakov's requests, he would not accept Hashem as God. Clearly, Jacob would never say such a thing. The Ramban, however, holds that it was indeed part of Yaakov's promise, meaning that if Hashem permitted him to return safely, he would be able to serve Hashem properly. As the sages teach, he who dwells outside Eretz Yisrael is like one who has no God. So dramatic is the difference in holiness between the land and the rest of the world. Okay, so when you went to Eretz Yisrael, you felt it. Yeah. Most people feel when they go to Eretz Yisrael that there's a holiness. Okay, so again, here we are, and what's going to happen? And this stone that I am putting as a metzeva, as a monument, will be a house to Hashem, and all that you will give me, I am going to give you a tenth. Okay, so he promises, bring me back, I'm going to give you Meiser. Good. Now, this is what I really wanted to get to. Okay, that's the introduction. Vayisa Yaakov Raglav. So Yaakov lifts his legs, as where he's happy. Rashi says from the time that he got these good tidings that Hashem was going to guard him, so he lifted his heart, lifted his legs, and made it easy for him to go. Why is it like that? Because until this point he was tortured. I have to go to Lavan. I don't want to go to Lavan. Let me say in yeshiva, let me go to my parents, but I don't want to go to Lavan because Lavan's a crook. So now I'm worrying what's going to happen. So he says, okay, Hashem's going to save me. He says he's going to save me. Great. So Vayisa Yaakov Raglav. So Yaakov lifts his legs. Ve'elech Artza ben Akedem, and he goes toward the land of the people of the east. Vayar, and what does he see? He sees there's a well in the way. Now he says that 3 people got the shidduch at the well, one of them being Yaakov. Okay, Yaakov is going to be Moshe, and then Eliezer gets for his father. V'nei sham shlosha edrei tzon, and there were 3 shepherds, 3 flocks of sheep, rov lying near it. Ki, why? So the pasuk tells us, Ki men be'ira, he, because from this well, Yashko Darim, the flocks would be watered. Ve'even Gadol al Pia Be'ir, and there was a big rock on the Be'ir, on the well. Wow, was a big V'nes Usham, the pasuk continues. V'nes Usham Kol Adrim, all of the flocks would assemble there. Galilu at Evan, and they would roll the rock Me'al Pia Be'ir from the top of the well. V'hishku at its own, then they would water the sheep, and Ve'eshiva Evan al Pia Be'ir Linkoma, and they would return the rock to the top of the well for its place. Why they do this, by the way?
Make sure no one fell in the well.
Say it again.
Make sure no one fell in the well.
make sure nobody could use the well.
Okay.
The well was there, but water is a commodity in the desert. So they wanted to make sure that nobody was going to steal their water. So what they do is they put such a big stopper on it that they have to wait for everybody to come. So here you have these three flocks who are coming. Now, that number 3 is going to be very important. I'm going to run through the story, and then we're going to try to understand what's happening. Yaakov comes and sees the shepherd and says to him, Achai, my brothers, may I inatem? My brothers, by the way, he's saying brother. Okay, he's not saying gentleman. I would say Rabbi gentlemen. He's saying my brothers. This apparently was a common thing to do, to call people my brothers. What? Lance. Well, it's even better than landsman. May I inatem? From where are you? No, where do you come from? Vayomer, and they said, Mecharan anachnu. We come from Haran. Oh, Baruch Hashem. He's found somebody from home where he's trying to get to. Yes.
So are they technically
Say it again, please.
Could they be by distant relation technically his brothers?
I doubt it, because that would be like saying somebody from South Bend or India, wherever you were born, it would be from you. No, it means that they come from the town.
Right. They probably work for them.
I mean, they ultimately would be distant relatives because we're all related to Adam and Rishon. Or Noach. But, no, for the most part, no. They're as related as you and me. Okay. No, we can say that. Unless you're really related to me closer than I understand. I don't think you are. Okay. So what happens? So he said, they said from Haran, he said to them, Hayadatem et Lavan ben Nachor. Do you know Lavan, the son of Nachor? Who was Lavan really the son of?
I forget his name.
Betuel.
Yeah.
So the question is, why didn't they say Lavan ben Betuel? Why did they say by the grandfather's name?
Betuel died, right?
So what?
Oh.
So what? I don't care if he died. Yeah, you call me Fabio ben Shlomo. You don't call me Fabio ben Chaim. Call my son. I mean, it's Baruch Hashem. We call my son Shlomo ben Fabio. I think my name. Who call him Shlomo ben Shlomo? So why is he going by the grandfather's name? Why is it? Do you know Lavan ben Nachor? Vayomru, when they said Yadanu, we know him. Okay, good. No real information going on. Yes, we come from Haran. We know him. Next question. And he asked them, does he have peace? Yomru, Shalom, he has peace. V'hinei Rachel bito, and behold, Rachel, his daughter Ba'ah, and my son is coming with the sheep. Okay, so now they offered information. There's peace. Rachel's coming. So it creates a conversation, right? It really doesn't make sense. It's still a conversation here. Where do you come from? Haran. You know Lavan? You know Lavan, the son of Nachor? They should have said, no, we know the son of Lavan ben Betuel, not Nachor. Who the heck is Nachor? Or it should have been, we know Lavan ben Betuel ben Nachor. That's also true. But we don't know Lavan ben Nachor.
Well, maybe for some reason the grandfather was better known.
Oh, you could say that. Very nice. Good. And the question is why?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what.
Brother.
What? Avram's brother. You could say that too. But again, the question is, why did he say Ben Betuel? That's really the question on the board. And then, like I said, they say we know him, but then they stop. They don't say anything else. Is there peace? Yeah, there's peace. And by the way, his daughter's coming. What? Why are you asking if he has peace anyway? Why is that? You want to say how's he doing? I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's what you're asking. And what's happening with his daughter coming? So then what happens? Now, remember what he saw at the beginning. He saw that he have 3 flocks. So Vayomer. And now Yaakov says to these 3 people, he gives them Musar. Hein Oda Yom Gadol. Still the day is long. Lo if a mikneh is not the time to gather your flocks together. Hashku atzon. So how are you? Water the flocks and go out and graze. What are you doing here? It's the middle of the day. You should be working. That's what he's saying. You should be working right now. You shouldn't be sitting down. Well, if you're, Rashi says, if you're paid by the hour, you're ripping off the employer. And if you own it, you're still doing wrong. You still should be doing work here.
They needed to water the sheep, though.
Remember, they didn't. He just sees them lying there. He doesn't know why they're not watering them. They have to wait. they'll explain we had to wait
To
blah,
get
blah,
the
blah, to
cover
get the
off.
rock off. Yeah, but until then he doesn't know what's going on. So he's just saying, "What are you doing?" He's giving mussar to them. If you're paid by the hour, so you're ripping off your employer. And even if you're not paid by your employer, let's say you own the stuff, you're still doing wrong. What's your question?
Is that just his nature to
Tell people off?
to try and teach people? Is that his nature?
His nature is
Because
one
where are
of
you from?
MS.
Right.
One of well, remember he's looking for.
No, well, where are you from? Haran. Do you know Lavan? Yes, we know Lavan, son of the grandfather. Oh, by the way, here comes his daughter Rachel with a.
Well, they're saying that.
Yeah, I know. By the way, here comes his daughter Rachel. Like, is he well? Yes. Here comes his daughter with his flock. Well, did you know that you're not doing a good job with your flock?
Well, now he's asking.
Now.
Right, so he's asking, why are you doing this? He wants to. Again, there's a reason for everything he's doing here. Okay, but I want you to hear the conversation. Right. Then we're going to go through we're going to get to the answers to why he's doing all this. And then what happens? So they say Vayomru, and they answer, Lo nuchal, we can't water the flock. Until all of the flocks are gathered. Then we roll the stone from on top of the well. And then we can feed them. Oh, so that answers. Then we can water them, and then we can go out to grace. Right, that answers that. So while they're speaking with him, while he was speaking with them, Rachel came with the flocks that belonged to her father, because she is a shepherd. In other words, it wasn't anybody. She's a shepherd. She's a shepherd. There's no what? Shepherdess. Thank you. Okay, she's a shepherdess. There's no male here. And that's another question. That goes back to the three. How could she be coming out? Let's go to the Kli Yakar. Okay, I gave you all the information. Did it really quickly. Okay. Now here we go. The Kli Yakar says on this whole thing, he had a whole bunch of questions. I'm just going to cut into it because I like the story. Here it is. Where is it? Okay. And it's right here. I'm trying to find it really quickly. So he says, my ayin, where are you from? He asked on the place. I'm sorry, the wrong one. Here it is. Oh, Hayadatem at Lavan ben Nachor. Do you know Lavan the son of Chanor? He should have asked, do you know Ben Betuel? That's what we're saying. Makom Yadanu. And when they said in the place that we knew him, they said, yes, we did know him. Fine. Venira Shalosha Alam Imehim Karim. It seems he didn't ask them whether they recognized him or not. What he was asking was, He assumed everybody knew Lavan. He assumed everybody knew him. But he was asking on his deeds, on his action, on his character. V'al yachas shalo, and on the genealogy of his. Why? He al ma'asav sha'al, on his actions, he says, is he like Nachor? Nachor was an ish tam v'yashar. Nachor was a good guy. He was a straight shooter. Or was he like his father Betuel, who was a thief? And that was Boel called Betulot. He was apparently the ladies' man. Okay, he's going out there and stuffing. So he says, do you know Lavan? Is he like his grandfather, Nachor? Or is he like Betuel? So Vayomru Yodanu ki ben Nachor. We know him to be like a ben Nachor, like Nachor. So fine, that's why he's going after him. So Yichus Shalom. And once they found out he's a nice guy, Sha'al im hu nolad mi Nachor achi Avram. Now they want to know. Now he says, well, was he of the family of Nachor, or did Nachor also do some incorrect actions, or his mother? Did Lavan's mother do something wrong that she has a bad reputation? So they said, no, we know that he is Ben Nachor. Clearly, his mother has a good reputation. He has a good reputation. So now he's a tzaddik. So he says, okay, Vayomer lo hashalom lo, is there peace for him? Which means, Ki yadash kol anshe makomo risham. I know that everybody else is a rasha. It's known that you guys are not the best people on the planet. So im hayat tzaddik, and if he's right,
I think it's relative.
Right. So, but if you're the Rishon and he's a tzaddik, so it shouldn't be that he shouldn't have peace because you guys would be torturing him. So, is there peace to him? So they said, Shalom. He has peace, and I'll give you proof he has peace. I'll give you proof that we're not fighting with him. Rachel's daughter is coming with the sheep, and if there wasn't peace between us, then he wouldn't send his daughter amongst the shepherds because they might do something wrong to the daughter. So okay, that's one thing. There are those who say, and then he said to them, "Wait a second, the day is long, and Lavan he wants to check out." He wants to know if they're suspect on thievery, because normally a shepherd is no. Wait 1 second. A roa is known he's always suspect for stealing. That was the. If you saw a shepherd, then you would be he was automatically a suspect of stealing. No better than a used car dealer, where you go to them and you know that there's going to be a negotiation. You know that you have to try, you're coming in at a disadvantage. You have to come in, because if you pay full price, you're the idiot. That's how it works. So if you're going to go to a roa, their reputation, by the way, I'm not going to impugn every single car dealer out there. Some car dealers are quite honest. But because of the reputation out there, we have to be very, very careful. So here also with the roa, the shepherd, that was the reputation. So Yaakov. So then Yaakov said, if they're not kosher, in other words, if they're not trustworthy, so then Rachel can't be alone with them, except if there's three. Okay, three men have to be kosher, in other words, upright, not thieves. That's why the pasuk had to tell us that there were 3 flocks, so that she couldn't be suspected of being alone with them. Yeah, your question
Are they shepherding their own flocks or Lavan's flocks?
Their own.
Okay.
Their own flocks. Yeah. Well, that's what he finds out. He doesn't know. It wouldn't be a Lavan's flock anyway, because it would only be Rachel coming with Lavan's flock. Right. Okay. So that's the storyline at that point. That she is. That's why we had to hear Lavan, the son of Nahor, and not Betuel, because Betuel has a horrible reputation, and Nahor has a great reputation. So, and he's following, this is interesting, they're saying Lavan, the thief, we know him to be a thief later on, but he had his reputation as being solid, according to this. So that's very interesting that Lavan has to the world, a decent reputation. Okay? Very interesting. So then it goes on. Again, so now what happens is, when he sees, we're on 10, we're on verse 10. It was when Rachel saw, it was when Yaakov saw Rachel, Bat Lavan Achimo, the daughter of Lavan, the brother of his mother. We had sown Lavan Achimo, and the sheep of Lavan, the father, the brother of his mother. So Yaakov approached, and he rolled the rock off of the well. Now think about this. You had to have 3 guys come together to get that rock off. Here you have, he's 77, wait for it. He's 77 years old. He's been learning for 14 years. If you follow Midrash, he's learning for 14 years. But the guy's at 77 years old. He, unlike his brother, is not known to be a weightlifter. Okay, and here he's coming, and Rashi says he picked up like you would pick up a cork from the bottle, put it out, and he ultimately vayash etzon Lavan achimo. He waters the flock of Lavan, the brother of his mother. Yes.
So, who were the other people waiting for? Another flocker, another shepherd?
They were all waiting for the other shepherds. He doesn't wait because he sees his cousin that he obviously fell in love with first sight, and so he just moves the rock and waters the flocks. He shows his immense strength. That's what.
Right. But if they need 3 to move it, no. But how many do they need to move it? How many flocks are there? Are there?
The 3 shepherds.
I know 3 shepherds, but how many more are they waiting?
I don't know.
Waiting for Rachel? Is Rachel going to?
No, Rachel's not going to help him.
Why is she showing up?
Because she always came at that time.
Oh, so where are the other shepherds? They're waiting.
They're all waiting. They had to get. It's like minion.
Where's the other sister at the time?
She's home.
No,
She's not with them.
There are 3 shepherds at the well.
There are 3 shepherds waiting around for other shepherds to come. Yes.
Okay.
So they all have to get together.
Does it say in the Torah how many shepherds in general it takes to move the boulder?
No, it doesn't say that.
Okay. Because at first I thought, we're all here. There comes Rachel. Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel.
Okay. So, but they don't mention. Do they mention?
They said we all have to get together.
We all have to get together. So.
Right. So it could be some other couple coming down. Okay. But the point is, Yaakov doesn't wait. Yaakov goes, picks it up, waters the people. Now, here's the line that will bother anybody who reads it and understands Hebrew. Vayishak Yaakov l'Rachel. Yaakov kissed Rachel. Wait a second. You're following the Torah. We have a from Yid here. We have a religious guy. You don't just suddenly see a beautiful girl, regardless of how old, how young she is, and give her a kiss.
Yeah.
Where are you kissing her? You on the lips or on face? What are you doing? Okay. What are you doing here? How can you kiss her? And it's not that he could say, by the way, that I didn't feel anything from the kiss. He's clearly.
Can you say it was? I'm kissing my cousin. It's a family.
No. But you can marry a cousin.
What is a kiss?
A kiss is just a kiss. A smile is just a smile. Okay. We all know the song.
Maybe that's allegory.
No. It's not allegory. So, and then it happens. Vayisai kolo vayev. He lifts his voice up and he cries. What's he crying about? First of all, Rashi says he cried because he had nevuah, he had prophecy that she would not enter they would not be buried together. Oh. He obviously can't say that to her when she says, "Why are you crying?" So she said, he answered her, Eliezer, the slave of my grandfather, came with all these gifts, and I have nothing. So that's why I'm crying. Fine. The Ibn Ezra says, how did he kiss it? First of all, look at the language. He said, look at the language. It says, Vayishak Rach, where is it? Yeah. I lost it. Vayishak Yaakov lit Rachel, not Rachel, lit Rachel. He kissed to her. Okay, so what does it mean? That he either he didn't blow a kiss. He either kissed no. We don't get that. We're not that what's it called? Puritan. We're not so Puritan here. So I thought it was who was it? The Ibn Ezra says it. I forget who says it already. But it's the Ramban. The Ramban says it, that it was it meant that he kissed her. Didn't kiss her on the mouth, rather he kissed her on the head or on the shoulders, something like that. Still would be a question as to how we can do it, but nonetheless he does that, and it's a beautiful thing. And the reason I point that out is because he's saying, it is the Ibn Ezra, I'm sorry. He says, because it says in the Shika, beloved, with the lamed, lit Rachel. So he's being very medaic, very specific on the language here. He says, if it would have said, Vayishak Yaakov Rachel, Et Rachel, whatever, so then he can go on for the lips. But here it's not, it's clearly that he's not. Where was Leah, by the way? Leah was home because she's too old. In other words, she is marriageable age. Apparently Rachel is not according to that understanding.
She wasn't 3 years old. Like
no, she wasn't 3 years old. She was older than that. But she wasn't,
sheep?
She wasn't that old. And that the people would be that there would be a suspicion. Also, Leah has weak eyes, and it could be that the sun would have hurt her. So that's another reason. That there's 2 possible reasons why Leah wasn't there, and but that's what they're coming to. And
Jacob was a virgin, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at 77.
It's an innocent kiss.
Okay, the point is he didn't kiss her on the lips. That's all they're making a point. We'll have to. I'm not going to argue that one way or another. Yeah. I wouldn't. You can't kiss. You cannot. We're not allowed to kiss the other sex. If you would see a girl that's ugly.
Just your mother, right?
Your mother, sister, and there's very few after that.
Yeah.
Your wife. But your wife can kiss it, and your girls, obviously. Yeah. But you cannot kiss somebody just to kiss them. It's 100% forbidden.
Now.
Even then, it's 100%. Because it was. It's one of the irvos we have. We're not allowed to kiss girls. We're not allowed to kiss women. That's why when people give a kiss on the cheek or something, it's 100% forbidden. I can kiss you. Males can kiss males because that's not sexual. But whoever's going to kiss a woman to say, it's not sexual. Give me a break. Okay, your question was?
So I've been mulling this over my head. He moved, the shepherds are waiting at the rock for the other shepherds to show up to move the rock so they can water their sheep so they can graze their sheep.
Right.
If you move the rock without waiting for all the shepherds to show up, the shepherds are already there and can water their sheep, but then they have to also wait for the other shepherds to show up to move the rock back so that the water
Correct.
is stolen.
Correct. So they wouldn't have liked Yaakov for that, correct? Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. They're probably angry at Yaakov for that. Okay.